coming to you from the world where the Triforce Goddesses and the Random Number Gods collide. This is the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3, and things are about to get mysterious. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jet082, and I'm joined by Cool Papa Bell. How you doing?
I am doing good tonight. I am excited to see some weird mystery settings, because that seems to be all that we're getting this week.
Yeah, it is Mystery Week here in the Randomizer League. And we've got the only undefeated team in the entire league of the Fandrena Drifters, and we have Jet082 about to run that race. And then up against them is the Waffle House Drive-Thru, which is in a three-way tie for second place in Skullwood's division. And we've got saltyphry piloting for them. So it's going to be very interesting that it's just going to be... I mean, we're not going to know. We have to figure out just as much as the runners are figuring out what in the world we're even dealing with. We do know it's not Randomizer, because they haven't patched out the fact that there's the EN code on the title screen. So since there's no EN code right now, that means no Randomizer.
Yeah, we can also see no starting equipment on the start screen there, no boots and whatnot. So nothing too crazy to begin with here.
Nope. So, as far as we know right now, just going to be your standard, just going to be kind of just standard start. We'll see if, the key things we're going to be looking for right now is this entrance shuffle or not? And if it is, the next, whether it is or not, the next key thing we're going to need to find is, what are our crystal counts? It's standard, though. And boots are in Dark Palace, which means Ambrosia, maybe? Well, no, because we would have sword.
Yeah, and the setting for automatic item on the boss is not, I don't think, anywhere in the weights.
Okay, so that, it might just... let me go check we have a little thing that tells us what the weights are.
Yeah, the Uncle Boots hint has been a thing in Customizer for a long time. It's just most people don't use it, but that's what went into the Ambrosia set before it became a little bit more codified.
It looks like we do have a flute. So starting flute and Phantom Ryu Cries in the Wilderness, because we have a cane start.
Red cane escape is definitely a thing.
And we have a hook shot! Quite a fast start!
Yeah, this is going well. Single rupee stun prize, as Jet shows us there immediately.
Okay, so I did just check in the settings. If there is a hint wait for Uncle revealing where the boots are. So that's not in specifically means it's Ambrosia, it just is a hint of Uncle revealing where the boots are. But this should be a pretty fast escape. The key question right now is going to be, can we find bombs for that back of escape? Cane escape is always easy because basically, you know, this is 30 years ago. AI was not really a thing, and enemies just basically just run right into the block wherever you put it. Oh, key sanity! We have a small key to Ice Palace.
Yeah, at the very least, small keys are shuffled. We'll see if we find some maps and compasses and big keys around. And so, yeah, we did not see that flute right away. That's a bug that's going to get fixed in the near future. That when you have a starting flute, it doesn't show on the initial menu, but you can menu to it as we have seen our runners do here.
It looks like arrows. The arrow pack is what's on the guards. Now, because this is standard, the small key to Hyrule Castle still has to be in one of the, I guess, first 6 locations. And so we're down to 2 of them. So yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I will say that having a standard start does not necessarily rule out entrance. In my race today, we had a standard start, and then we walked out of the sanctuary, and it was the pyramid. Whoa!
Ooh!
Hammer in Zelda's cell.
Hammer time indeed, and wow, do we have a fast start.
So that's going to speed up our escape even more, as stuff in the sewers doesn't take too well to getting hit on the head with a hammer.
Yeah. Now, I've seen enough arrows dropped from the guards that I'm pretty sure that the arrow pack is on the guards, so at this point, we are just waiting on the rats. That's really the only other way they can get bombs right now. Otherwise, they'll have to come back later. And to your point about entrance, saltyphry, both runners not checking the doors. Most likely, you're going to do an entrance check when you come out of Sanctuary.
Yeah, you can't really follow anything that you would find out of that left Hyrule Castle door anyway, so...
Nope. Now, because this is standard, we have the light cone here, even though we don't have a lamp. Other dark rooms, you will need to have the lamp in order to see. Snakes here are going to be the same prize pack as the guards. So you ain't gonna find bombs here. There's that small key I was talking about. And heart prize pack on the rats. So, have fun, runners. You're coming back later.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be hoping to find that glove to be able to take the short route back to the sewers.
Now, what would be really trolly is if the seed put bombs in Sanctuary, where now you can't go back. So it gives you the bombs, just now you have to find the glove. How about a small ketapod? Alright. Are we entrance or are we not entrance? So far, we're not entrance. But it is possible that Sanctuary could be vanilla, so no real issue there.
I'm sure everyone who's paying attention to the league has seen or heard the tales of the very first seed of the week, where runners got to about this point, thought it was an entrance, and then dropped into the Ganon fight right here at the Lost Woods hideout, so still possible.
Yep. Looks like we saw a bomb on the crow. Bombos in Lost Woods. Okay, Lumberjack is still Lumberjack with the heart container. And Flipper's in Lost Woods hideout, so yeah, it probably isn't. At this point, that's enough coincidences to tell me it's not entrance.
But the fast progression definitely continues here.
So we had a question in chat, because we mentioned someone mentioned cross keys. So there is the item shuffle that is most common. There is also an entrance shuffle. In entrance shuffle, the doors are... what doors lead to what are shuffled along with all the items. One of those modes is called Crossworld, where normally with Entrance Shuffle, if you have a room with multiple doors, if you enter in the light world, you have to come out the light world. In Crossworld, if you enter the light world, you enter in through the light world, you're not guaranteed you're coming out the light world. It could be dark world. So, and then Key Sanity is where we mix up the keys, as you just saw with the small key to Thieves Town, hence the name Cross Keys.
And that Thieves Small Key, a very good one to find when we have Hammer this early, because this means whenever we get to Thieves Town, we can clear everything out of there. Assuming we have the big key by then.
Absolutely. Big key to Turtle Rock, so now we know it's full Key Sanity.
And we see saltyphry, unfortunately, out of bombs, did attempt to do some bomb farming in those bushes on the right-hand side of the village, but did not find any, unfortunately. We'll go ahead and activate the flute.
And with that, as always, the Hawk's about to rock, and we salute you.
Another small key to Ice Palace is what Fry had to skip there. So the seed really wants us to go to Ice, apparently. We've got Hammer and Flippers already.
Not to mention that if this is swordless, we have the means to get into Ice Palace through the Bombos. Big key to Meyer.
The other nice thing about having Hammer and Flippers this early is that once we get Dark World access, both of those items give us options for how to get over into East Dark World, which of course is where the goal sign is on the pyramid, so that's always very helpful information to have.
Especially because so far we've only really had standard Key Sanity. We haven't really had a lot of other information. The key thing really at this point that's left is how many crystals do we need to beat Ganon? Or do we even need the crystals to beat Ganon? Because it's entirely possible it could also be Pedestal. Fry electing to use the B to get his $100 back from getting the bottle vendor's item. At this point, though, if I was running this, I'd feel pretty good right now. Don't have to worry about entrance. Don't have to worry about Randomizer. You've got Key Sanity. Even if it is swordless, you already have the hammer. So for the most part, you're good.
And yeah, interesting. Fry fluting out of the village a little bit early is not going to go check out Race Game, but had to backtrack after buying those bombs, so didn't want to run all the way back down to Race Game just to see another B on the ledge.
$50 at the bottom of the dam. And now to the old mini Trolldorm Cave. Hook shot. These mini trolls should be dispatched of rather quickly.
And with all this equipment, our runners have several very good locations. We can clear out South Shore and do some flipper checks. Not enough Zora money yet, but we've also got Death Mountain in the near future. Ooh, and a bow.
You know, so I have a thing I do where if you get all red things or all blue things, that I do this whole little thing of this check brought to you by Red Things. And we had 4 yellow things there. And I was so hoping for a 5th yellow thing so that I could finally do a yellow thing. And then, of course, we get a piece of heart and the seed trolls me.
Sahabat not just trolling runners anymore, apparently.
Trolling commentators, too. Anyway. Let's see what Ice Run Cave has. More sticks.
Did also give us our 3rd medallion in Mini Moldorm Cave, so that will not be a concern at any point.
Nope. Jet going to go check Sahasrahla, while saltyphry is going to do the Zora checks.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really cost Jet any time. You're always just a flute away from Ice Rod and jumping in the water down there anyway.
Green Pendant also. Piece heart. And sword and glove in Sahasrahla's closet. So now we also don't have swordless to deal with.
Yeah, really good finds there. And apparently Ice Palace is the only dungeon in this game. So...
Jet gonna go ahead and head into Eastern.
I gotta say, this move I'm not as convinced by. I mean, we do have the bow, but that doesn't lock anything in Eastern Palace without the big key.
Yeah. But it's still 3 checks in logic. 4th one because the lamp blocks the vanilla big key chest. So, you know, at this point, there's definitely a play to be made for Death Mountain. But, I mean, hey, you're here. Might as well check Eastern. Chivalry in Eastern. And as I was mentioning about Death Mountain, there goes Fry into Death Mountain.
Yeah, these are both pretty reasonable plays. I just feel like I would lean more toward Salty's approach rather than Jet's, but obviously we'll see how this plays out.
It's only 4 hearts. Got to be careful of the falling cabbages. Okay, last in logic item is $5. Vanilla. Someone's asking about Vanilla Big Key. So, when we refer to Vanilla Big Key, what that means is that the next chest that Jet is about to check in the vanilla game of Link to the Past, the big key would be in this next location. Hence why we call it the Vanilla Big Key chest. Oh, bus driver was hoping it was Vanilla Big Key. Got it. Okay. Ignore the idiot commentator. Meanwhile, heart container and $20 in the bottom of Paradox Cave.
Saltyphry will also be able to finish off Tower of Hera if he wants to, using the Hera Pot glitch and that hook shot.
Well, there's the big key to Eastern. Hit its map.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an early coin flip that's going Salty's way, I think. Since he'll be able to single dip Eastern when he's there.
Ooh, half magic and back of escape. So, something that's useful, but not necessarily required. What?
Were we seeing a Houlihan here on Jet's side?
That's a Houlihan. There's 20 bucks in the basement of Hera.
It's the most common Houlihan setup from Jet there. Once you have flippers and can't do it by jumping in the water.
And Fry just gonna walk out. Not gonna go ahead and follow the logic and say I can't get into Hera right now, so I ain't bothering with Hera right now.
Yeah, he doesn't know whether he actually needs to complete that dungeon, so that's, might be an optional trip, and as you said, not in logic without that Hera Big Key, which Jet just found. Wow.
Oh, that is hilarious. That's hilarious.
So both of our runners dipping the dungeon as their opponent finds the corresponding Big Key, so I think they'll be swapping places there pretty soon.
Probably. And the thing is, we found that shovel in Eastern. So Fry is going to have to go to Eastern first, and then get the shovel there, and then go back for it.
So yeah, logically, this Eastern one of these double dips was going to be required, I think, but Fry could have gotten around it by just doing that Herapot glitch.
But as someone is pointing out in chat, this could be an advantage to saltyphry, because if he did Herapot, that means he wouldn't have checked the big chest, which in non-key sanity rando, as long as you find the 2 items, more often than not, you're going to be fine. But with the fact that it's key sanity, all 6 of those chests in Hera could potentially have something.
Yeah, there's just no way to know if you're leaving behind 20 bucks or a very important item of some sort, so this will definitely help Salty be thorough with that Tower of Hera for sure.
So at this point, we've got Hammer and Glove. The key thing we're looking for right now is the Moon Pearl to get to Dark World. So, Drossi in chat asking what's the mode. So far, standard key sanity. We had Flute to start. We got a Boots hint that Boots are in Dark Palace. And that's about it. Key thing outstanding right now is what crystals do, what actually our goal is. Fry getting the shovel he's going to need for the Hera Big Key.
Yes, Drossi pointed out in chat that since maps, compasses, big and small keys can all be theoretically shuffled separately, getting them all together is not that common, but it's Mystery Seed, something weird's going to happen.
Okay, and Jet is going to head in to Hera. Fry also checking that hints are in fact off. Big 20 in the Eastern big chest.
And worth noting, back of Eastern is still not in logic technically, since you need some sort of light source to get through the back room, but that's not going to bother these runners very much.
Yep. Recently, they have, well, I say recently in terms of last year, but they've added advanced logic, which is what the tournament's going off of. Any room that you can basically walk in the door, point a direction, and shoot the fire rod in advanced logic is available. So if we do find the fire rod, then that is what allows us to actually do Armos Knights. The problem is that's not the case for the vanilla big key, so that is hard. You need the lamp in order to get that piece of heart.
So far, this Tower of Hera not giving us too much besides another pod small key, but the big chest was nothing.
What it can also give us is a ride on the roller coaster. Jet opting for hammer strats. Hammer is tempered sword damage, so 3 hammer stomps, and down goes Trolldorm.
Yeah, pretty solid Moldorm fight as Fry gets through the gets to the Dark Room in Eastern easily, but Jet, the first of our runners with that Moon Pearl and Dark World access.
And a crystal.
So I feel like the only play right here is Hype Cave, check the goal, and go into Palace of Darkness and see if you can find those boots.
Absolutely. And just a piece of heart at Eastern, and also a crystal.
So I think Jet has a bit of an edge here. You got to think that Salty might head back up the mountain very soon, but that is a long trip. We're going the long way around to get to Tower of Hera still at this point. So I think Jet is going to save some time overall, even with that Eastern double dip.
Jet, instead of doing what we would do, he's heading for Dark World access via Village of Outcasts.
All right, so Jet's going to do a bit more of the Dark World loop on the way down toward Hype Cave.
Alright, Fry taking the shovel will get the Hera big key. Jet, meanwhile, heading into Skullwoods. Alright.
Oh, nice routing here. Fry is going to go check the race game item that he did not see before.
Nice. Interesting move by Jet to grab the small key that was there and then get wall mastered.
Yeah, that wasn't entirely necessary in this case, since we have already collected one Skullwood small key, so Jet could have used that one to get out of the pinball room in a few seconds here. And we'll find a vanilla small key there.
Hey! Whole hoard of cash. Up to Meyer. Ooh, Fry taking a lot of damage. Gonna need to be careful. We talked about how long this trek is. Last thing you want to do is die and then have to do it again.
Should be in good shape now. We'll see if he takes a Death Warp inside Tower of Hera to replenish his health a little bit. Small key on Bumper Ledge.
Very interesting. Interesting that both runners are not making use of Herapot.
Yeah, that's the downside of Fry's health there. He couldn't really do any sort of bomb setup with the amount of health he had without taking the Death Warp, so he might have just decided it wouldn't save him enough time.
That's true. There's that small key to pod that we got earlier. Alright. Jet now into Thieves Town. Without the big key, you're only getting the first 4 items. More booms. No, we have not had a gold check yet, so we are still waiting on that. Small key to Desert. And, Brian Kane. And Fry has his Moon Pearl. Big 20 at the chess game. And here's gonna be that Hype Cave check. Most likely also the gold check. On Fry's side. And we have some literacy from the brewery.
So saltyphry has 2 crystals done at this point, although he's getting into the Dark World a bit later. It is worth noting that in non-entrance modes, we are guaranteed at least 3 crystals required to defeat Ganon.
There's a 4th key to pod. There's a mirror. Jet finding the small Hera key. Which we still need a fire source to now be able to get that last item. Okay. Fry's gonna tell us what the 5-6 crystals are. They are Hera and Thieves Town. So we have one of them already.
And that Thieves Town one feels very close, since we could find that big key at any point in time.
Turtle Rock and Swamp Palace are also crystals. So now we know where 5 of the crystals are. Okay, so this is the big piece of information we've been waiting on.
Jet also playing with fire here on very low health at the moment.
Fry gonna do an interesting play, I think. Alright, we got a small key on the pyramid ledge. And yeah, Fry's doing what I think he's gonna do. Small key to swamp. He's going to go ahead and check the goal, and then is gonna go get the first item inside of Aga Tower. Or at least I think that's what he's gonna do. Goal is... we got all dungeons!
So, sneak week 6 here is we get an all dungeons key sanity.
And I was right. That is what Fry's doing. Yes, all dungeons includes Aga 1.
And so you always hope to be doing Aga 1 right before defeating Ganon, since you can just mirror from the pyramid back to the Aga 1 entrance, as Salty did here, and then Aga will drop you off back at the Ganon fight with full health, so that's always ideal.
So I gotta say, at this point, save for the fact that we know what the boots hint is, and it's in pod, if that wasn't the case, I'd be making a beeline for Swamp right now.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. We've got everything we need for Swamp other than the big chest this early. That's a real appealing option.
You have 9 items you can check. Pod, we've only got 3 keys right now. So logically, only the front stuff really is there. Depending on where the lamp is, some of the back could be in logic. Alright, so we're going to see Fry go into pod, check those boots. Jet, I imagine, is doing Catfish into Zora.
Yeah, and he does have that Zora money, so that'll be nice. And of course, he can always just flute back to pod after finishing up whatever he wants to do up here, so it'll be a quick trip back there if that's his next stop.
Big 20 to start. Catfish has another 20 bucks.
Also worth pointing out that since we have Mirror at this point in the game, Jet will spend basically 0 extra time walking back to Eastern Palace, since he can just mirror there after doing whatever he wants to do in pod.
Yep. Save him a little bit of time there. Alright, small key to Turtle Rock there. Let's see what the second item is. And we get the big key to Thieves Town. And there once was a fish named Zora who left heroes 500 poorer. The fish won't let you pass because he gives you a compass. Compass. Man, I screwed that up. And vanishes into the water. I was trying to do a limerick. That didn't work. Never mind. Tip your waiters and waitresses.
Thieves Town Big Key is definitely interesting because now we do have completely logical access to both of our 5/6 crystals. And it looks like saltyphry is going out of his way to avoid opening the front door of Palace of Darkness. So trying to use his keys in order to clear out as much of the dungeon as possible, but this normally means that you have to go through the right side an extra time, which is time-consuming.
Big key to desert there. Another small key to Turtle Rock. And a blue shirt. Meanwhile, Fry is working on his Zora money. Jet seeing that small key earlier on the bumper ledge. Gonna go ahead and check that. Hammer Yump complete for... Ooh, just a bit outside.
Yeah, and he has to go all the way downstairs to get to a new super tile, unfortunately, to reset the bridge.
Jet gonna go ahead and check the bumper or graveyard ledge, but without Titan's mitts or boots. Gotta go the long way. Here we go. Ooh, a nice rod. Hey, there's the boots. And Fry deciding, you know what, I'm good with that.
Yeah, interesting. Didn't even open that second chest in Dark Maze.
Yeah, I think he's setting up a death warp here.
Yeah, this is save scumming keys.
Mm-hmm. One. Oh, I see. Okay, save and quit, or save and continue. Check the 2 items here. If it's not useful, do a reset and save the keys for Helmastar. Got it. Piece of heart. So he'll probably reset anyway, because even if this is not a piece of heart, he could, reset and get that anyway without the key. So that makes sense.
Yeah, doing it that way is a little bit risky because that item at the drop down in the Stalfos basement is in logic at only one small key, or with the bow and hammer to do the right-hand side. So that could definitely have been something that he spent 2 keys just to get, but just a heart piece, so can safely reset there.
$20 from the Bonk Rocks.
So the story yet again, by the way, of Jet came into the Dark World at the Village of Outcasts portal, while Salty made a beeline for Palace of Darkness and found the Thieves Town Big Key over there. So we'll be able to full clear Thieves Town, his first trip into the village.
Which will also open up the Pyramid Ferry, as both items are there. Jet going ahead and doing his run through Palace of Darkness. And there is that big Thieves Town big key.
Gotta say the routing works out pretty well for saltyphry. Having just found the book there, when he heads south toward K45 and that sort of stuff, he can continue that down to check out the Bombos tablet, and then even head into Desert Palace if he wants to. We can clear most of that, although anything locked behind a small key is not in logic until we find the extra Desert Small that's hiding out there in the wild somewhere. Oh, that Desert Small key. I forgot it was there.
No worries.
And question in chat, yes, saltyphry did not check out the Harmless Hellway. He instead used that small key to look at the vanilla big key chest. Neither one of those chests was anything, so...
Fry also did not check the top half of the Dark Maze. And we'll be glad he did, because it's just a piece of heart.
And yeah, all three of those locations, the Dark Maze, Harmless Hellway, and the Vanilla Big Key Chest, are logically considered locked behind all 6 Palace of Darkness small keys under normal conditions. So it's far less likely to find progression there. And Jet is going to go ahead and finish off Eastern Palace while he is in this area of the world.
Someone asking in chat, is Fry leading right now? It's honestly too early to tell. He's going to have 3 dungeons completed, whereas Jet's only going to have 2 done. But I think the one big difference is Jet's already done Swamp Palace, at least the front of it. So, and also has the Ice Rod, which will be big for Turtle Rock. So, I mean, Fry may have an advantage in terms of dungeons completed, but it's not really anything that can't be overcome at this point. There's still a whole lot of race left to go.
Yeah, there's like advantages and disadvantages both ways, right? Jet has done more overworld checks, and most runners will sort of consider the front of Skull Woods as an overworld check, essentially. So, you know, that's what he has over saltyphry. And yeah, that Ice Rod, particularly since it's in Graveyard Ledge, that if Fry gets in position to just finish dungeon after dungeon after dungeon, it might be a while before he gets back to some of those esoteric overworld locations like that Ice Rod.
Crystal number 2 for Jet. Blind down for Fry. with the big key to Swamp. Okay. Now we can do all of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, full clearable swamp versus an almost full clearable swamp that Jet is headed towards right now. Jet has those boots, right? He does not seem to be using them very much.
He has them. We saw Jet pick them up. I don't know why Jet's not using them, though. And yeah, Jet is heading into Swamp. While Fry heads into Skullwoods.
So this is probably good on Fry's side. He's going to spend some time, getting some nothing out of Skullwoods and a Misery Mire small key that we don't really need off of Bumper Ledge, but we'll probably also pick up Graveyard Ledge while he's here.
Into Swamp Palace we go. At this point, given its key sanity, you're checking left side. You still gotta find Fire Rod. Might be beneficial to find Lamp. It's all dungeons. You need Pod Big Key. You need GT Big Key.
We need both of those Aga Tower small keys.
Yep. Would help to have maybe one more GT key. Need one more. Well, okay. I would say you need one more pod key. Fry has that covered. Jet will need one more.
Yeah, the only thing Jet will not be able to do in Swamp Palace here is open this big chest, since the big key to Swamp is on Blind, which he has not revisited Thieves Town just yet.
There's the big key to Pod. Fry is going to get his Ice Rod. Going to do King's Tomb first, which we have not seen. And like we surmised, Jet is doing left side Swamp. 20 bucks in King's Tomb.
Interesting that we're not seeing the diver down from Jet here.
Ice Rod for Fry. And that looks like Fry may also be making his way into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I think that's the certainly the highest item density that Fry has, and as much as the seed has sort of pointed us towards Swamp Palace, getting Boots hookshot, Hammer hookshot, Mirror flippers, everything we needed for Swamp pretty early on.
Fry, meanwhile, is actually first gonna go do... He hasn't done Stumpy or Dig Game, so I'm assuming he's gonna do South Grove here and then get those two done also. Just a compass there.
And there's that big chest for some suspense. We'll see what Salty finds in there in a few minutes.
Meanwhile, Jet's going to do diver down here. And this diver down check brought to you by Red Things. Red Things. Sometimes they give you health, sometimes they give you money, sometimes they allow you to break the rules. Red Things. Oh, hey, there's the Titansmiths.
Dataplet calling it in chat. Might have to burn a witch later.
I mean, let's be honest, there weren't that many spots left. And like you said, this was the most item-dense location. The myths really were kind of the... I mean, we've been in all of the dungeons that you don't need the myths for. That was kind of an easy call. Oh, hey, we got SpeedGaming 5 rating us. Thank you all for joining us in. I'm Jex Refi. This is Cool, along with Cool Papa Bell. We've got all dungeons key sanity in our mystery mode. And we currently have Jet taking on Argus. Okay, now Fry's gonna head in. Or Fry is gonna head over to the desert area.
Seems like pretty much every time we say this is the only logical thing for the runners to do, they just decide to do something different.
And there's a crystal, which we knew was there. So all that's left is the big chest. The big key to Swamp is on blind, which is why Fry has it and Jet doesn't. And I got a feeling... Well, alright, look, I've been wrong about calls, but this certainly feels like... Well, no, because Jet never did the Zora checks, I don't think.
No, I think Jet has done Zora because he went back. He's gotten Catfish and went back to Zora at the same time. So yeah, I think he's going to do Ice Palace and is maybe hoping to get another pod small key in Ice somewhere to be able to go back and finish pod sort of while he's in this part of the world.
That would make sense. Oh, hey, look, there's a small key. One of the Agate Tower ones.
There are definitely way worse places that could be. So Jet's going to chase these myths immediately into Ice Palace. This is certainly conventional wisdom. If you have Bombos and you really want Fire Rod, go try Ice Palace. But that means Jet's going to be looking at a Hammer Cold Stare fight, since he's just sitting on Fighter Sword. And speaking of breaking all the rules, here is the Icebreaker glitch. It's a door state extension is the proper name. Ooh, flips through that rail to find a Master Sword in the vanilla big key chest.
Hazu Kitty was saying better Hammer Cold Stare than Master Sword Cold Stare. I disagree. I'd rather have Master Sword, but you're entitled to your opinion.
I mean, Jet just says, "Por qué no los dos?"
I always speak English, and computers are gonna have to help me on that one.
That's why not both?
Okay, yeah, I'll go with that.
It actually is pretty handy to use both because you can sort of use the hammer as your main weapon, but keep a sword spin charged in case there's a cold stare puff coming directly at your face.
Fry, you don't want to save a quit there.
But already this trip to ice is working out pretty well for Jet. Of course, with the icebreaker, you can go through the dungeon pretty quickly, and that Master Sword is a good offensive upgrade for sure.
And since we don't have a big key, we ain't checking a big chest. Alright, so Bombos to get the puffball out of its cage. And now the cold stare fight begins. Put cold stare in a corner. Can't really keep him there for long with just Master Sword and Hammer. One puffball down. There's 2 and 3.
So, pretty nice cold stare fight from Jet. Definitely played it slow but safe.
And the lamp.
That certainly does interesting things logically there. Meanwhile, saltyphry finding the powder in the Swamp Palace big chest. And I believe Jet has already gotten and turned in the mushroom, so fake powder is not an option. So if something winds up on the magic bat, that could be brutal for Jet's chances in this race.
Yeah. Also, we hit the 1 hour mark, so normally here would be the time where we say that if you are certainly enjoying this race, and, well, I would hope you're enjoying this race, but assuming you are enjoying this race, please be sure to give both saltyphry and Jet082 follows on Twitch for said entertainment that I assume you're enjoying, because otherwise why else would you be here? Alright, big key to Ice Palace, and small key to Skullwoods in the Mire Shed.
Salty having a rough time with that diary down glitch, but does get there eventually.
Alright. Both runners making their way through dungeons we've already seen at this point. What'll be interesting here is, though, Fry did not finish Desert. Just did the front, didn't do the back, so I would assume that we're probably going to see him go to the back, and that is exactly what he does. So we'll finish Lambo here. Maybe check Meyer next, now that I got the lamp.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, Jet can do pretty much everything in the Meyer area on this trip. Still has that portal on the desert ledge, so can get 2 more dungeons finished off pretty quickly here. Jet gonna bring out the Ice Rod. Fire Rod preferable because the shots fire a bit faster, but don't quite have that yet.
Yep. Although they do the same amount of damage. But the slower pace of the Ice Rod, in some ways is beneficial, in some ways not, but down goes Lambo for Jet. And a small key to GT. And another crystal. So that would mean Pod and Skullwoods are our pendants, even though this is all dungeons.
So Argus fight finished there for saltyphry, but meanwhile Jet has been making some fast work of dungeons, is up to 5 completed, and will be finishing off Meyer while he's in here. And it's feeling like our runners are actually closing in on go mode here. Still need the GT big key, the second castle tower key, another pod small on Jet's side, and of course that fire rod. saltyphry going back up Death Mountain now with those mitts. We'll be able to clear out Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny as well. Meanwhile, Jet finding the Tempered Sword in Misery Mire.
So Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, as well as the Skullwood's big key just a second ago.
So Jet is definitely going to have a sword advantage. With Master Sword and Ice Palace, you would assume Fry's going to get that with the Icebreaker. Tempered would depend on when Fry routes in Mire, in terms of if he's go-moding Mire or if he's going to be doing a full clear.
Yes, but saltyphry is also going to be showing us our GT entrance requirements, which obviously there are a ton of items in the GT basement, so that might be why he's wanting to rush Dark Death Mountain a little bit.
Okay, red shield. Bombs. Map. To GT. And 20 bucks. There's also Spike Cave. We also didn't... He also could check what is on Ether Tablet. Nice use of the hook shot to get the iframes. And we need 5 crystals to enter GT.
Which Jet will have in just a minute.
Just pocket change on Ether Tablet. Fry not gonna check Spike Cave. Granted, not... you've got Cane of Burna, you could do it. But I think Fry is making this play to finish off Pod.
Yeah, Fry also had the option to go into Turtle Rock a little bit, but not too keen on the idea without the Fire Rod.
And with Tempered Sword, Boots, and Cape, gonna put those 3 together and make quick work of the eyeballs. And now just 8 arrows in the big eye. And down goes Viddy for crystal number 5 for Jet. With another pod key. So now Jet has the pod key that he needs to finish Pod.
Yeah, that's a really important pod key. And I gotta say, at this point, Jet has the option of basically just clearing out all the dungeons. You go do Palace of Darkness. You can do the back of... Oh, no, wait, this is not entrance. He cannot do back of Skullwoods without the Fire Rod. I was thinking of some bomb jump shenanigans, but he could do Thieves Town and sort of clear out as much as possible down the mountain before heading back up and hoping that he can get into GT once he gets up there.
Yeah, and the one thing is you could do a lot of Turtle Rock. You couldn't do the Fire Rod lock the right side, nor could you do the boss. But there's still a lot of things you could find in Turtle Rock, given the number of keys we've found at this point.
Yeah, and from Jet's perspective, I would not be surprised to see him go ahead and do Thieves Town to maximize his chances of getting into Ganon's Tower, thinking that maybe Fire Rod and a key or 2 that you need are going to be in the GT basement. And that is where Jet is headed.
Meanwhile, Fry is almost... well, I say that, and now Fry is into Helmassar.
Still on that fighter sword, unfortunately. It's really too bad that 2 of those sword upgrades are in dungeons where you might think, I don't want to go there yet because I only have fighter sword.
Down goes Helmstar. And chat pointing out that Meyer was a blue pendant. I think we got mismarked that Meyer was a crystal, so Meyer is a pendant, which means Skullwoods is a crystal instead.
So that will not change too much about Jet's routing, since after finishing Thieves, he will be able to enter Ganon's Tower when he gets there. This will also give him access to the Pyramid Ferry if he wants to give that a shot.
Chat also pointing out this could put Fire Rod on pedestal, could also put GT Big Key on pedestal, or both of those could be in GT proper.
Yeah, the reduced crystal requirement definitely changes the way you route this 80 keys a little bit, just because anytime you can get into Ganon's Tower early, just all sorts of stuff could be in there.
Yeah, I'd probably go ahead and finish Pod if I was in Jet's position, because at that point, the 2 dungeons that you're essentially on standby with are the ones that need the fire rods. You've got everything else done, and then I probably would make a play for GT Basement, and then if I don't find fire rod there, my next play would probably be Turtle Rock. But that's kind of where, see, that's kind of where we are right now, where you've got a lot of imperfect decisions, and which one is going to be the right one.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about efficiency, Jet would really like to have the GT Big Key before he climbs the mountain, to maybe minimize the number of times he has to climb, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and do the Smith Chain with those mitts to maybe see if he can make that happen.
Jet also going to do Smith Chain, which is not a bad idea. Big 20 in the Ice Palace Big Chest. That was another thing Jet missed. I mean, that's also a thing that's now going to start playing on Jet's mind, especially with Key Sanity, is Jet didn't have Ice Palace Big Key, so left that. Didn't have Swamp Palace Big Key, so left that. Right now, the one thing that really could be hurting him is that the Big Key, the Big Chest in Swamp Palace leads to Powder, and he's already burned his Mushroom, so he can't fake it. But honestly, at this point, with the level of runner we're dealing with, if you're making these decisions to leave one-off locations, you're not going back for them until you absolutely have to.
Yeah, I mean, anytime in a race like this, you're sort of writing that decision, writing that line of taking risks and playing stupidly, right? And sometimes you have to play a little bit stupid to win these races. So our runners are definitely going to take some calculated risks for sure at some point. But Jet wanting to be thorough here and finish out a bunch of stuff
Ooh,
down the overworld.
So wait, is that okay? I thought you had to, on the frame that you come out of the mirror, you had to talk to the guy to open the chest. I didn't realize that you didn't have to be in that one frame.
Yeah, you've got actually a fair bit of leeway on that trick. As long as you're pretty close to him, you can do the missing purple chest glitch like that.
I learned something today.
Another question in chat, how is Jet dashing with the chest? If you hook shot to something that you can hook shot to, and then you start your dash while the chest is sort of dashing to catch up with you, then you can safely dash.
Alright, meanwhile, Jet is going to go ahead and turn in the big bomb and check Pyramid Fairy. Fry is going to go into Mire, so we'll most likely get tempered. Because at this point, we're still looking for GT Big Key, and we're still looking for Fire Rod. And Silvers. You'd prefer to have Silvers, but you can do it without it.
Yeah,
imagine...
Jet,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Jet especially is not too worried about Silvers since he has Tempered. Saltyphry might be thinking about it, but if he finds Tempered here in Mire, he probably won't be too concerned about those silver arrows.
Alright. Pyramid Fairy, big 20. Booms.
So AD Keys is very much a mode of who can just full clear the game the fastest for the most part. And Jet being pretty efficient in sort of clearing off some of these one-off overworld checks on his way back to Palace of Darkness to get his second pendant. Oh, third pendant, actually, right?
Yep.
Remembering to do the green pendant turn in also while he's here.
Yep, the old man has a red shield. So now the question is, do you check Ped before you go up to the mountain?
I mean, I think if he's finishing Palace of Darkness, he's probably in the mood to take a quick look at Ped as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, speaking of calculated risks, Jet left behind that Stalfos basement chest. I did not realize he had done that. That is definitely one of those on the edge of doing crazy things.
Mm-hmm. It's also going to check the big chest. Which has small key to GT. Yes, chat's pointing out only Fry knows that it's 5 crystals to enter GT. Jet does not know yet, but Jet has also not been up to Dark Death Mountain yet, so Dark Death Mountain is probably in Jet's future anyway, because that's pretty much all that Jet has left, other than probably King's Tomb, Swamp Big Chest. So I would imagine he's heading to... He's gonna have to go to Dark Death Mountain at some point soon.
Ice Big Chest as well. Yeah, it's just really ugly things that he does not want to do.
Yeah, you'd more likely take your chances going up the mountain.
But I feel safe in saying that Jet is in a bit of a lead at this point. I mean, he's about to finish off Palace of Darkness. Saltyphry is going to finish Desert, and they will have the same dungeons completed, but Jet will be done with that faster and with more overworld checks done. So definitely got a couple of minutes of advantage on Salty here, but there is still that powder on Salty's side that Jet's going to last location pretty hard if that has something.
Yep. Yeah, we are 2 items from Go mode at this point. We need the GT Big Key and the Fire Rod. Jet gonna save and quit. Going to Sanctuary, so that's probably King's Tomb. Now, we've already seen King's Tomb, so we know it's not anything important. Oh, Fry had a little bit of trouble with those ice rod shots. He's just not connecting with any of them.
Yeah, the timing on them is just so much different from the fire rod shots that they're really hard to get used to if you haven't practiced it.
There we go. And I think Jet is going to do a pedestal pull. Alright, what do we got?
I'm betting nothing.
How about something? A big something!
I mean, I've been wrong every time so far calling this race, so I think Jet owes me for that particular commentator's curse.
Alright. So that pretty much means we are just a GT Big Key away from Go mode.
And don't forget that Aga Tower small key also that we need.
True. Yeah, for those that didn't see in chat, it was the fire rod that was on the pedestal.
But I think Jet is now safely in dungeon clearing mode. He's going to grab this Skullwood's big chest while he's here, and then finish off the back, go to Turtle Rock, clear GT, and just hope that he finds all the necessary keys along the way.
Yeah, and Turtle Rock is one of those dungeons that even go moding, you end up checking most of the items anyway, so you're really not going to lose a lot of time if you full clear Turtle Rock. And this is where the information of GT being 5 crystals could very well hurt Fry, because this is a GT play. Unless he goes into Turtle Rock. Of course, Fry is going to open Turtle Rock since he's here. And yeah, this is GT. Now, it's possible the 2 keys we're looking for are in there. But you almost have to think Fry is looking for Fire Rod in here, and then would most likely do a Turtle Rock dip after doing GT. Small key to Meyer on Mothula.
Yeah, you got to expect Fry is going to do everything he can in GT Basement until he's in Go mode. And now, honestly, the worst thing for him would be finding the GT Big Key, because if so, he's going to go ahead and climb without Fire Rod still. But if that's locked behind the Fire Rod, he might be able to get out of here after just clearing the basement, but that would still send him back to Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Chad also bringing up the point that the right side is technically out of logic because of not having the Fire Rod. So there's also some... I mean, you can make it work with the lamp, but logically you need the Fire Rod. You basically have to do some bomb jumping to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, that actually could also save Fries. If he sequence breaks to the right side and finds something there and is like, okay, I know the Fire Rod has to be somewhere useful or somewhere readily available.
The way Jet's routing this... Oh, he's got to do Ether Tablet. He hasn't done that yet. Just gonna get pocket change, though.
Yeah, Jet's still being pretty thorough with these overworld checks. If it's along the way and easily available, he is going to do it. Again, those Castle Tower small keys could be just basically anywhere in the seed, so...
Heck, the other one could even be in Haggett Tower. I mean, we saw the one, we didn't see the other. Chest, that should clarify. We've seen the front chest from saltyphry. Anywho. Well, there's a GT big key in the randomizer room.
And that's probably going to be a GT climb from Salty at this point.
Depends. Depends on what Salty would want to do. Does he want to check Turtle Rock? Or does he want to do the climb? Or does he want to check Turtle Rock, then do the climb? Kind of some interesting ways you could think about doing it.
Yeah, it would not be out of the ordinary to clear out the basement and then mirror run over to Turtle Rock and then come back and do the climb afterwards, but I do not think he's finding the Fire Rod before clearing out GT and double dipping Turtle Rock, so...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but Haggett Tower key in the GT big chest. Oh...
This randomizer does some cruel things sometimes.
We are, in fact, in no mode at this point. I
So Jet will be opening a bunch of chests in Turtle Rock that we know that he doesn't care about, but he'll be in good position to finish up GT and take out Aga Tower and then go straight to the Ganon fight.
Mm-hmm. There's only one play Fry has right now. Fry would have to go to the pedestal immediately. He's gonna do the climb instead of going to Turtle Rock, so... Alright, let's think about this. Fry's doing his GT climb, getting Aga 2 done now. You conceivably... maybe go ahead and do Aga 1 and get that over with while checking the other item. Plus, it wouldn't be that long to check the second item anyway.
Yeah, and I think Fry has not done, like, Smith Chain yet, right? So he might be thinking, I want to go back to the Village of Outcasts and take care of all of that.
Yeah, like, the problem right now is... Jet's routing is a lot more efficient. Because he's at Turtle Rock, even full clearing really isn't going to waste that much time. And then the obvious play after this is to go into GT and hope for the items being in there. So Jet has the more efficient route.
Yeah, I mean, Salty is going to for sure have another Death Mountain climb in front of him, so... especially now that Jet has that red mail, he sort of has all of the safeties that he needs. This is definitely his race to lose at that point.
Like, the only thing this could really come down to is Silver Arrows. If, like, somehow Jet were to have a fall on Ganon, which, you know, we keep saying with the level of runners we have, but even with these level of runners, a Ganon fall... it happens from time to time. It just... the way that you just get bounced off of Ganon as you're doing the sword spins, it's possible. Jet clearly has a lead at this point, but it's... there are ways for Salty Fry to come back, but honestly, at this point, I think it's more of an execution... if Jet has problems with his execution. Meanwhile, we found Butter in Turtle Rock. And again, without the Fire Rod, both of these lamp puzzles are possible, but the much faster way to do it is with the Fire Rod. Fry gonna wait and make sure that he doesn't despawn the tower. Gets the door open. $600 in the mini Homostar room.
Definitely feels strange that Fry is finishing off Ganon's tower as Jet is finishing Turtle Rock, but Jet is in what feels like a commanding lead at this point, but it's the way Mystery Week goes.
Noticing the Hyrulean Andrew Jackson there, I'm guessing that's where they put the flute, since we had starting flute. Because we got red mail, so this is normal difficulty. And Butter.
Yeah, that must have been what replaced the flute in the item pool.
Which, if that was where the flute was, that would have been a nasty location for the flute.
Yeah, it's not quite where the flute would have been otherwise, because the seed picks that you're going to start with the flute and does all the logic that way. There just is a big 20 in the item pool.
Yeah, essentially the flute's in Sphere 0. Alright, I get 2 down for Fry. Fry continually running into a wall. For frustration, probably. And Jet is making his way into GT, so we'll probably hit go mode shortly.
Yeah, Fry is going to go ahead and do Aga Tower right now, has both the keys. Would totally be in logic for the Fire Rod to be in the second chest here, but...
Okay. So Fry checks the second item, and Aga Tower sees his $50 and is going to go ahead and finish Aga 1. $20, heart container, $50, $20.
So a question in chat about Jet pulling Ped. It definitely felt like Jet was intentionally clearing out absolutely everything down the mountain before he climbed Death Mountain a second time. Had been up there once with just the gloves without the mitts, and of course with possibly reduced crystals for getting into GT. Jet seemed to just want to do absolutely everything before going back up to be sure he could get into Ganon's Tower, if at all possible, on his second trip up the mountain.
And to be fair, the thing is with this being all dungeons, like pedestal is one of those checks we hype because it requires the 3 dungeons that are not required to finish it. But the thing is that, hold on a second. I just realized that I might have accidentally left a receipt that might tell my wife what she got for Christmas, and that's not good. Anyway, meanwhile, what was I trying to say? The thing is that because it's all dungeons, you were going to have to do the pendant dungeons anyway, so the pedestal check isn't as necessarily a big, out-of-the-way check like it is in a normal seed.
Yeah, it's probably like not as out of the way as Catfish, even. At least time-wise.
Alright, Jet not forgetting about the GT big chest. And once he opens that at 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 30 seconds, Jet082 is officially in go mode. And he knows it.
And saltyphry, unfortunately, heading back up the mountain, probably is going to make this turtle rock dip. And that's going to be real bad for the slim chance that he had left of winning this race. I mean, Jet's going to be finishing this seed somewhere in the lowish 150s, I think. So definitely, that's a really good time for an All Dungeons Key Sanity seed, even one with starting flute. So Jet has run the seed really well. Yeah, good question in chat about where silvers could possibly be at this point. I mean, geez, what have we not seen? Spike Cave? Oh yeah, Hera Basement, Tile Room, Powder, these are all true. So Jet going to take a second try at the torch puzzle here. Looks like Jet's thinking along the same lines that those silver arrows have to be somewhere around here. Unfortunately, we know he is not correct, but thinks it's worth opening those chests to find out.
Alright, this receipt has been safely hidden, so my wife does not know about her Christmas presents. Meanwhile, Troll Room Team is down, and Jet is fully on his way in go mode. Nice double to start. Those were so close, I think that's only a single. It must have been a double. So down goes Zaga 2, and once he does Zaga 1, it'll be time for the big pig!
Yeah, I mean, you beat Aga 2, and then you immediately go beat Aga 1. That's how this game is supposed to go, right?
Kinda? Maybe? I mean, that's how you do it in all dungeons.
And Jet still on the lookout for those silver arrows. And yeah, Fry is attempting to save the portal here. Let's see, this is green pendant turn in. We'll see how much stuff he tries to do in the light world and leave that portal in place on the laser bridge safety door.
We knew that was the mirror shield for him. And this might be pedestal check. This is pedestal check, so this will put Fry into go mode.
So yeah, this could have been a fairly close race still if Fry had gone to pedestal directly after finishing AGA 2 and then 1, but that Turtle Rock dip was just so much item density he couldn't really pass it up. Still has Skull Woods to do, though, so Jet's going to have to fall on Ganon 12, 15 times, maybe.
Quite a bit.
Since he does have AGA 1 beaten already, though, he will be able to finish Skull Woods and then just save and quit and land right on top of the pyramid.
Alright, AGA 1 down for Jet. And now time to get some bacon. Butter Sword makes the first 2 phases again and super easy. And just like that, we're into phase 3.
So we'll get a hint from Ganon here as to where those silver arrows are hiding.
They were somewhere in Dark World, so... Spike Cave? That's really the only thing I can think of we haven't checked.
Yeah, I'm thinking Spike Cave also. Jet having Fire Rod here, of course, we'll let him spam out these Fire Rod shots to... sorry, with having half magic, rather, lets him spam out these Fire Rod shots.
Yeah, the combination together really helps.
I've tried fighting Ganon with half magic and no Fire Rod, and doesn't work this well.
Nah. And that'll do it. Assuming that Jet doesn't fall off, which, I mean, pretty much at this point he's not going to fall off, but assuming the fact that he doesn't fall off, Phendrana Drifters will remain undefeated, because he officially will, with an official RTGG time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 28 seconds. Spam those GGs in chat.
We've also seen Hazukitty of the Tile Roomies in chat rooting hard for Jet, as they have one more match this week. The Tile Roomies might be able to pull up to 21 points and grab second place. So saltyphry and the Waffle House drive-thru will be at worst tied for third, but potentially in a three-way tie for second, depending on how that last match of the week in the division goes.
And meanwhile, while Fry is about to take care of Mothula and then go get his bacon, we are joined by Jet. GG.
Hey, GG.
So, how you feeling after that one?
Dude, that took forever.
I know.
It really seed, I felt like, just made us walk around in circles a lot before it finally gave us, the progression to make it smooth. Like, once I was able to, like, really dip into dungeons, I felt like I never left the dungeons, so that was nice, but it took a while to get there, and to get mitts and swamp and everything.
Knowing that it was all dungeons, were you making a conscious play to check pedestal, or was that kind of just a happy coincidence?
So I'm just doing dungeons. I didn't know which dungeons were which. And then I'm like, I want to get as many crystals before I go up to GT, because I didn't know the GT requirement. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna beat all the dungeons that I can and hope I have enough crystals. And then when I got the last pendant, I'm like, hey, I could do ped. Yeah, let's just go do that real quick. And then I expected to get absolutely nothing. So I got Fire Rod. I'm like, that changes everything. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah, honestly, that was kind of where I would say the race kind of diverged for you guys, because around the point that you guys went into Swamp and got your Titan's mitts, Fry decided to make the play for Dark Death Mountain, saw that it was only 5 crystals to get into GT, so once he got to 5, that's obviously where he went, whereas you kind of were avoiding Dark Death Mountain like the plague, so you ended up with the correct play words of getting the Fire Rod, so then you went into GT and you never left because that was where Go Mode was.
I mean, I at least wanted Fire Rod before I went up to Death Mountain, so that way I could do Turtle Rock while I was there. So that was the immediate goal. Obviously, if I could have gotten GT Big Key before then as well, that would have been good. So that's sort of why I avoided Dark Death Mountain for so long. And I just realized I completely skipped it after Turtle Rock. I don't think I ever checked Hookshot Cave or Super Bunny, and I think I just autopiloted past that to GT, which lucked out hard for me.
Well, hold on to that thought for a sec, because once the fanfare finishes, I can then report that saltyphry has finished with an official RTGG time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 2 seconds. So, about those silvers, we think they're in Spike Cave, because there wasn't anything in Hookshot or Super Bunny Cave. So, we think silvers are in Spike Cave.
Right, if I didn't forget Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny, I would have said either of those, but yeah, Spike Cave. I can't think of any other Dark World location that I skipped.
Combined with saltyphry, who is joining us in chat, doing the Smith chain, I'm pretty sure Spike Cave is the only Dark World check both of you did not do. Also, hi, saltyphry.
Hi, GG.
GG.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you... Go ahead.
I was going to say that was kind of interesting. Kind of feels like I wish I had checked the ped a lot earlier, but other than that, it is kind of what it is. It probably would have led to me full clearing Turtle Rock either way, so it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of I don't know if you were listening to us while your streams were catching up, but that was kind of the thing we were saying is really this race came down to after you both got Titan's mitts, Jet kind of avoided Death Mountain, trying to hope to find Fire Rod. You went up to Death Mountain, saw that it was 5 crystals for GT, and so once you had the 5 crystals, you made the GT play, and that kind of set you behind for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I can kind of see how that would have played out that way, right? I mean, like that's it. Is like I saw the 5 crystals, and I kind of figured like that's the place to kind of go at this point in time. Like, I don't know. Like, and then I kept getting pendants as well, so I'm like, maybe this will be my 5th crystal. Maybe this will be my 5th crystal. But I was able to keep beating dungeons, so it was never going to be a problem. I knew eventually I was going to get to that number 5.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of back and forth, especially like early on in the Light World with that Eastern Palace versus Tower of Hera double dip. Each of you did one of those. So yeah, it was a really entertaining race to watch.
Yeah. Did you end up clearing Hera the first time you were up there, or no?
I did. So I went to Eastern first, got my shovel, which led me to the Hera big cave. Cool. I could full clear Hera when I go up there. And then, of course, in Hera, I think it was, Eastern Big Cave. I'm like, come on, what is this?
I kind of did the opposite. Like, I went up there first. I didn't bother clearing it. I kind of wanted to stay in Logic because I've had some bad experiences with the whole beatable mode stepping out of Logic, so I wanted to try to stay there, and just in case I go up there and find some useless junk or something like that. So I didn't bother beating it the first time. Then I go, find the shovel and find the Hera Big Cave. I'm just like, oh, serious? But at the same time, that was kind of one of those things where it's like, well, maybe if it's in the big chest, then maybe I just hit the jackpot at the same time, but that didn't work out. It was just a big 20, so felt bad.
And it took me a while to go over to pod. I really wanted some more pod small keys when I first got to Dark World, because I'm like, I think we had 2.
I had 3, I had 3. I don't know where I got the 3rd one relative to you. So I kind of went
with one in
I more or less
Cave.
went straight there. Yeah, maybe that was where I got my 3rd one. I don't know. Like, I did Hype Cave and went straight to the Pyramid. I kind of always do that in the Mystery Seeds because I kind of want to know what the goal is ASAP.
Yeah.
Usually I'd keep going and go up to Quakefish, but then actually I think I probably did find that small key in Hype Cave, which is probably what convinced me to go to Pod at that point in time. So I think originally I was going to go up to Quakefish and do Zora because I finally had money for that at that point in time. But then I saw that small key and I'm like, let's go to Pod because they got the boots there and I can almost certainly find them at that point in time. So I just rolled with that.
Yeah, when both of you hit Dark World access, Fry, you did do what you said. Jet actually went to western Dark World and did Skullwoods and Thieves Town and kind of did the whole U going into Pod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine ended up being a kind of mishmash. Started over there, and then I did some zigging and zagging to kind of clear everything up there. So eventually I kind of hit everything, but it was a lot of zigging and zagging to get it all.
Actually, Jet, I think you out of like Skullwoods and Thieves Town, didn't you actually do Bumper Cave? Or not Bumper Cave, the Graveyard Ledge, and then that kind of took you over to the eastern side.
I did Graveyard Ledge so I did the U. I went to Pyramid just so I can see it, and that's like, oops, all dungeons, so that's good. Then I'm like, I want to go to Catfish, and then I knew, because was it Catfish that gave me Cape? Either way, I'm like, there was a small key at Bumper Ledge. I'm going to go get that, and I can do Graveyard Ledge while I was there. I don't know. It was just, I felt like it was a complete waste of time. I should have just, went right to Pod to get boots, rather than, I should have gambled boots, but instead I was trying to play it safe, and I think that took too much time.
Yeah, that was definitely the first time when you guys made us look dumb, because we were both like, oh yeah, definitely go right into Hype Cave and then go to Pod for the boots. And Jet, you immediately did something different, but you found some good stuff along the way there, so clearly worked out pretty well.
Yeah, for a while we didn't even have swords for the longest time. I know there was one in Mire. I can't remember where my Master Sword was though, but it just felt like, oh, Ice, wasn't it Ice?
Yeah, one in Ice as well.
One in Mire. And then I think it was GT, I don't remember, or Turtle Rock maybe, I don't remember. It was
GT.
It was Saha Closet and then Crystal Roller Room in Turtle Rock.
Right, yeah.
So, Jet, you and the Fendrana Drifters are still undefeated, so doing still pretty good heading into week 6. Also, you guys get a head start on the All Dungeons week next week.
That's right. I got my practice in.
I think it
But,
knows that I don't really like all dungeon keys. That's why it gave me this, because I'm actually not playing next week for exactly that reason. So I think it was just trying to spite me by giving me this all dungeons keys right here, knowing that I'm taking next week off.
Well, anyway, how are you guys? So as we were saying kind of before you joined in, Fry, so Jet, you guys are clearly top dog in both the league and in your division. Fry, you guys are still in it in terms of getting into the bracket stage. So how are you guys all feeling heading into, as we're coming into the home stretch of kind of the first of the why can't I get the word out? You know what I mean, the actual weeks of the league.
It felt a lot better going into this week than we do coming out, but at the same time, we're still in pretty good shape, I think. So we'll just have to pick it up next week and the week after, and hopefully things go a little better then. But yeah, at least coming into this week, we were in good shape. So, I mean, the 0-2 this week certainly hurts a little bit, but I'm not exactly sure what the situation is now. I actually have to go look at the standings with everything that's been happened now. So
I think you guys are still tied for second.
Yeah, that's kind of. I don't think we could be any worse than tied for second at this point in time. So, I mean, we're still in decent shape regardless.
And I'm checking the schedule right now. Tau Roomies has a race tomorrow, Saturday, so that could potentially lead to them taking second place if that race goes their way. So, but yeah, I mean, it's still close. So, anywho,
exciting and fun either way.
Yeah, exactly. Any final thoughts from either of you?
I'll just say thanks a lot for the restream and the commentary. Best of luck going forward, Jet, and GG.
Yeah, thanks for the restream, guys. Good luck to you guys as well.
Thanks.
And of course, please be sure to give saltyphry and Jet082 follows on Twitch for the entertaining race they gave us tonight. We want to give a shout out to our tracker Bandman25. Always the unsung heroes of the restream, keeping track of all the items we found along the way. And cool Papa Bell, always a pleasure to have you in the commentary booth.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fun. And if anybody is still looking for more rando, we got a couple more races on the schedule tonight. 11:10 over on SpeedGaming 2, and 2 a.m. for the Night Owls on SpeedGaming Main. So still more rando and lots more coming up over the next couple of weeks in the league.
All right, so with that, for saltyphry, for Jet082, for Bandman, and cool Papa Bell, I am Jex Reffy. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you next mission.